up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of FIY Garage. Today we are going to be addressing power steering on the Jeep. Now, the power steering works. There's no grinds, there's no pops. It works just fine, but there's quite a bit of slop in the wheel, and it makes it feel like it's all over the road. I know the seat's torn up, I have a new one, but there's a lot of play in the wheel when you're driving before it actually responds. So what we're gonna do today is replace the power steering gearbox, which is right here. It's not leaking. I sprayed PB Blaster on it to break the help the lines break loose. Now, normally the air filter box is right here, but I took it out. It's literally one bolt holding it in. It's real self-explanatory. I'll show you when I put it back together. But this is the air intake hose that was pulling off when I had the bad motor mounts. So what we're gonna do today is change this box. I already got a new one. It's right here. So this thing actually looks like it's in pretty good shape. As you can see right here, there's a tooth missing, so this is indexed, so the pitman arm can only go on one way, which is nice because that way you don't have to count teeth or anything. And this side, this is the shaft from the steering wheel. It has a flat spot on it as well, so it can only go on one way. We're gonna go ahead and put this on today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all my tools and we'll get started. So as you can see, this box has an index mark on it where there's a tooth missing, so the pitman arm can only go on one way, which is nice because that way you don't have to count teeth. All right, what we're gonna do first is try to get the bolt that holds the pitman arm on the box off, which is right here. Now, it's been on there a long time, and yeah, it's not gonna be fun to get off, but we have to get it off before we do anything else. I had to go buy this yesterday. It's a 33mm socket because I didn't have anything that big in my toolbox. Well, I did. I had a 36 and a 35, but they didn't fit. So we're gonna try to get this off. Probably gonna have to use the impact because, yeah, this thing has been on here a while. I don't think I have a big enough ratchet or breaker bar. So we can try this first and get out of the way. Nope. So I think we're gonna have to try the impact. So I'm gonna go get it and I'll be back. Yeah, that nut's really tight, so I sprayed it with some more penetrating oil. So in the meantime, we can take this steering shaft off. This is the shaft that goes up to the steering wheel. This is the cover for the box. And an intake adapter. Get that out of the way. So gotta get this off first. Here we go. This thing's actually pretty cool. You just pump it, it sucks the fluid out. And you can see this fluid's dang near black, so it's been in here a while. It's time to do it anyway, so no better time than now. You gotta get it all out, or else when I break these lines loose, it's gonna spill all over the place. So other steering systems are similar, you know, to draining wise. Sometimes you have to disconnect a hose or you can suck it out, but this process is pretty much the same as far as like removing the box. I mean, you'll have different mounts, and some vehicles have rack and pinion where it's underneath and it's actually quite a bit more in depth. But this is old school steering like trucks will have, and this thing has it surprisingly. I think in the newer stuff they have a rack and pinion on the newer Jeeps, but I'm not sure. Could be wrong. But same thing, just get all this nasty fluid out of here, and then fill it with new fluid and we'll be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish draining this and I'll be back with you. All right. Well, we got the lock nut off. So now that the lock nut's off, we have to remove the pitman arm. In order to remove the pitman arm, they make special pullers. That's what this is pitman arm puller. You could use it for tie rod ends, but it's mostly for these. So how it works is this has to come down off of that shaft. So you put this guy on. You can rent these from the parts store. As you can hear, I have my assistant out here today in her stroller. So she doesn't mind being out here with me. So what we'll do is we're just going to tighten this up, and it's going to pull the pitman arm off of the steering box. Now, sometimes these things will pop with a whole lot of force, so that's why I usually don't keep my head in here. In case this tool explodes. Which it kind of looks like it's trying to do. It's flexing instead of I don't know if this is going to work on this. I might have to go get an even stronger one. Oh, come on. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get this off. I'm gonna start tapping it and see what happens. I'll be back with you. Okay, well, the other tool did not work. I started tightening it and this ended up bending out, so that one failed. So this is the heavy duty end all be all one. So let's see what happens. You can tell it's noticeably bigger. So we're gonna have to get this one set up. I'm gonna put this little guy on the end of it. I'll do that once I get it over it. So, put this guy, there's this little thing on here, this little pointy part, so I'm gonna put that on there. Then we'll do this. Get it centered. And then tighten these up. These side wing nuts keep it from spreading apart. So, sorry, you can hear my assistant adding her 2 cents. So, okay. Oh, needs to be tighter. That should be good. So, we'll see what happens. It's sitting right on the side of it, but it should be okay. All right, nice and tight. Oh, here goes nothing. Oh, jeez. Wow. Okay. Wow. I'm gonna turn the camera off for a minute and reposition all this stuff, see if I can break it loose. Okay, well, I'm back a few days later. I tried everything to get this pitman arm off the box. Different kinds of pullers, heat, air chisel, everything. So I went ahead and ordered a new one. So we're just gonna go ahead and leave this pitman arm on here and take the whole dang thing off, and then we'll I'm just gonna give this box back as a core with that on there. So I put the drain pan here to catch any fluid that leaks out. So what I did is I took the steering knuckle off of the pitman arm so that it won't hang on it. So I can go ahead and break these loose, but I'm gonna take the bolts that hold the box off first. Find my ratchet. There's 1, 2, 3. There's a third one up there. I have my assistant out here today, and she's quite talkative. Aren't we? Yeah, she likes hanging out in the garage. Okay. That one loose. This one loose, and then there's one other upper one. Now, I don't know what it is exactly, but when this Jeep was at the dealer or sometime after, they sprayed some undercoating on it to help stop it from rusting, and it did a good job, but it's just interesting. I've never really run into it before. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish taking these bolts out, and I'll come back with you. Alrighty, everything's loose. Get the steering shaft out of the way again. So now I'm gonna check to make sure there's no fluid in here. Got most of it out the other day. There's gonna be a little residual, so go ahead and break these guys loose. Ooh. I'm gonna put my gloves back on. What are you doing? Let's see if these will... Sweet, that one came loose. So I have to remember that the return line is on the driver's side. All right, this guy's loose. Now let's do the other one. All right, that's loose too. I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew both of these and get them out of the way, and I'll come back to you. Now I know this is a car channel, but that little, for lack of other words, infant jail is frickin' awesome. We take it to the desert with us, works out great. She seems to like it, so. Yeah, just draining this fluid out. I'm gonna get these hoses out of the way. Now there's an O-ring on this one and an O-ring on the end of that one we gotta change, but I'm gonna go ahead and get these hoses out of the way and I'll come back. Okay then, I'm going to get under here and finish taking the bolts out. Then the box should actually fall right out. It's ready, it's disconnected. So it's gonna be kinda heavy and it's probably gonna make a mess. So I'm expecting that. This thing's almost dead. Yeah. I think this is the one that didn't get sprayed with PB. Let's see if she can do it. Nope. This thing works a lot better when it's not dead. But box is free. It's not light, but leave it in there for a minute. Let all the fluid come out of it. So that's out. That's pretty much how you do it. I'm gonna let this thing drain. I'm gonna get the new box ready, and I'll go ahead and start putting it in. Okay, let's get the new one into place. At least get it started. Let's see. Reverse that and all right, those are in. I'm gonna go ahead and put the third one in, tighten it, and I'll come back. Alrighty, as you can see, the O-rings have had a long and useful service life, but it's time to replace them. So I had to get them off with a razor blade because I was trying to use my nail and it wasn't happening. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace them and lube them up and attach them. Let me get some power steering fluid. Alrighty, if you remember the order, the supply line went on the inner one. Oh crap, dripping it all over the place. And the return line went on the outside. Yeah, it's making a mess all over. This stuff stinks. It's been in here a while. Tighten this one. Okay, that one's in there. And then the outer one, which is the return line. If it'll come off. Oh, come on. All right, I'm gonna get this thing out. I'll come back to you in a few. Alrighty, guys. That's on, lines are tight, so here's our brand new Pitman arm. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the box, and then we're gonna have to tighten the nut. And it'll be pretty self-explanatory from there. I just have to make sure that the box is centered, because I don't wanna screw with its orientation. So there are flat parts on here that only let it go on one way. So we can see that that's not it. See, it won't go on, but when you get it to a special point where it wants to, it'll actually pull it up. So I'm gonna lube this thing up and crank this guy on here. I'll come right back. Okay, I put some anti-seize on the Pitman arm, so if it ever has to come off again, I won't be totally screwed. Get it up there. Should stay. And get this nut going. And if you haven't learned anything about anti-seizes, it gets all over and stays all over, so be real careful with it because it makes a big mess. But I'm gonna go ahead and impact this guy on. I'll come right back. Okay, so the new Pitman arm is installed. Now I just have to center this guy and tighten the nut, and then I'll put the cotter pin back. So it's a 19. So let me grab it. Alrighty, so snug her up. Let's find a place where the hole on the bolts exposed. Looks good there. And we should be able to get our cotter pin through. A little more. Let's see. I'm gonna have to mess with the nut a little bit. I'm gonna get this pin in, I'll come back. Alrighty, now that we're hooked up, we need to take this box and put these plugs in it so it doesn't make a mess for the dudes at the auto parts store. Like I said, I am turning it in with the arm on it, so that sucks, but absolutely nothing I could do about it. I tried. It's just been on there since day one, so wasn't gonna play ball. So I'm gonna go ahead and plop this back in the box and I'll come back with you. Hey, now it's time to install the steering shaft. Like I said, there's a flat spot there. It should line right back up. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, let's see where it lines up. Flat spot on there. Let's try that. Okay. Well, that's where it wants to line up, so that's where I'm going to put it. Let me check my steering wheel. Yeah, that actually might end up working out. Get this and the 13 and tighten it back up. Now, after this, you know, installation's the reverse of everything else. Take the, put the air intake box back on, and then what I like to do to bleed these is, I don't like doing it with weight on it, so I'll jack up the front wheels and then fill it and start it and go back and forth. That'll get the air out the best, that way there's no load on it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this stuff up and put the air filter box back in, same way we took it out. I'll come back. All right, well, she's running. Just add some fluid in there and then just go back and forth on the wheel. And it'll slowly quiet down. There's a bunch of air in the fluid, so just kind of got to let it work itself out. But that's it. I mean, there's a lot less play in the steering wheel now, I'll tell you that. So it should be a lot better. Now I just have to crawl under and adjust the little turnbuckle on the steering linkage to straighten out the wheel. But other than that, it's pretty good. So I'm happy with it. So anyway, guys, yeah, this concludes another project. There's gonna be many more, so let me know what you think, and yeah, take care. See you later. Bye.